Happy Easter, besties. I hope you're doing well. Today's video is going to be super interesting. I don't want to keep you for long, so I had to put the title right from the first slide. All right. So I stopped saving money in the bank. Yes, you have to stop saving money in the bank because most people are doing it the wrong way. So there are two people who have the same amount of money. One ends up broke, the other ends up a millionaire, multi-millionaire. Do you know what's the difference between the two of them? The choices they are making in their money management. So one of them simply understands a simple truth that most people ignore. Something as little as saving money has changed people's lives in beautiful and amazing ways. So when you save money in the bank, it is truly not enough. That is why I said I stopped saving money in the bank, and you should learn this secret. All right. So when you start cutting down the cost of things you want to do, just because you want to have more money to save. Like literally, I see people who keeps telling me, I want to solve my problem, but I want to save more money. Like I need to save more money. Most people make these mistakes, and I hope that by the end of this video, you will learn how to make your money work for you instead of doing all the work. So most people are saving money to become responsible, and that is one thing I need you to know. They are forgetting three key factors. The first one is inflation, the second, taxes, and the third, rising cost of goods and services. You see, these three things can make or mar you. So, a lot of people are struggling to retire at 65, whereas others are already millionaires before the age of 60. I want you to be in that second group. The one thing they are doing is that they are sending their money to work for them by investing and saving their money the right way. So let's get started. I actually stopped saving my money in the bank, and here is why I stopped doing that. I had a conversation with a friend of mine a few years ago, and we're talking about, how much she kept in the bank because she wanted to buy a car, and it's a car she wanted to buy for her mother. Now she was saving a certain amount every month, putting it into her bank account, hoping that like in 3 years' time, the entire money she needed would be enough to get her mom a car. Fast forward 3 years later, the cost of car had doubled. So all she was doing in that 3 years, her money was just, so assuming she was hoping to save like 2 million, and then she was able to get 2 million in 3 years. Car is now like 4 million. And the 2 million she has been saving in the bank hadn't moved beyond 2 million and 100,000 for that 3 years. And I was telling her that there are so many things that she would have, done if in the last 3 years she was putting that money in a better savings account, or she had put it into investing. So that 1 million that you are saving in the bank, even if it is 5,000 naira, it doesn't really matter how much. But after 5 years of keeping that money in the bank, you will still have that same 1 million. You will still have that same 5,000 with little interest. Can you imagine? So this is why I do not save my money in the bank, because two things happen when you save your money in the bank. The first one is that your money loses value over time, and due to something called inflation. Inflation reduces your purchasing power. So the reason why my friend couldn't get that car anymore is that her purchasing power has reduced. So she had 2 million, and now the purchasing power is still 2 million, but what she needs to buy is now 4 million due to inflation. Now, a lot of people do not really understand the effect of inflation. Inflation is robbing you every day. Every naira that you have in your bank account is worth less every year if you keep it in the bank. Now, let me explain it in a better way. So, let's say you have a million naira, and after 1 year, our inflation currently is around 24%. It means that they have taken away 24,000 out of 240,000 out of your 1 million. Can you imagine? Like, it feels like someone has clearly robbed you in daylight. And that is why I keep telling people, if you understand inflation, you will not be keeping your money where your money is resting. I keep telling people that when you keep your money in the bank, the money is just sleeping. But when you invest your money is working. The second thing that happens is that bank use OPM strategy, which is other people's money. Now everybody's putting their money in the bank, and bank will use this money and give out as loans. They will use this money and invest in the stock market, trade and do other things. And you that have put your money there, they've used your money to give out a business. And when they make the interest and make the profit from that loan, you get almost nothing. And that is why you need to start learning that you can be in charge of your own finances when you have the right information. So I'm going to give us a case study which will help to make this thing easy. So I'm going to consider buying MTN shares, which is the Nigerian stock, versus dollar savings. So this is savings, all right? The valuation of naira and inflation are two things that would make even buying shares, if you're not working on a good strategy, you will end up losing in the long run, and you think you're actually making progress, which is something that happened to people. They'll tell me, I bought this stock how many years ago, and we're still stuck somewhere here. Maybe over like 4 years, the stock has grown like just maybe 20% or 15%, and the person begins to wonder what is really wrong. So the last 4 years is been we've been on devaluation of naira. So the naira has steadily been losing value, and every sign was just pointing towards further devaluation. And I'm going to break it down for you further. So this is MTN. They had their initial public offer in 2021, and at that time, the current price that was released to the public was 169 naira for you to get one share. I'm not saying that buying MTN shares is bad. I'm just trying to say that you need a better strategy. So it is one thing to know, oh, you can own this share, you can own this share, you can own this one. If you don't have a strategy to know how best, when to buy, when to sell, when to move your money from this stock or asset to another asset, you're going to be run around in circle over a period of time. So now this is MTN 2025. MTN is at 242. So look at the difference. So from 2021, over the course of 4 years, it has grown like this. Remember, it has grown more than this and then dropped all the way back again to around 190 or thereabouts and picked up again. If you had applied the right strategy, you would have made good money. Now let's flip it and let's look at it that in 2021, $1 was worth 570 naira. And today, $1 is worth 1,600. Can you see the difference? Do you know that just keeping that investment in dollar will move your money from 1 million naira to 2.8, just having it saved in dollar? But having it in MTN shares, you would have had about 1.5 million, which is not entirely bad. And consider that they're also adding dividends. Now, 1 million naira that you saved in dollars, assuming that savings is giving you just 5% per annum, you would have over 3.4 million, which is awesome. Now, if you have put it into a US stock market stock like Palantir, that 1 million would have given you 5 million. Can you see that we have moved from money resting in naira to money being invested in Nigerian stock to money being saved in dollars with small interest to money being invested in a US stock that is doing well? Now, not every stock moves as much as Palantir, but this is where smart moves comes in. Why I'm saying this is that there's a huge difference between saving and investing. You must move from that whole saving mentality and start saving your money in, first of all, in a high interest savings account that can give you up to 20% in a year. You can save that money by putting it into a dollar mutual fund or a naira mutual fund, and these are easy to set up. I've done a lot of videos on this. Catch up on my other videos and you can get more information on this. So there is a strategy that works, and strategy matters. It has been proven that owning stocks is a sure way to build wealth. So look at the people who are getting it right. they know how to make their money work harder for them because they are sending their money to go to work for them. They have a good strategy. So what I'm saying is that you have to stay focused, you have to stay consistent, you have to stay dedicated. But this happens when you have the right information. And when you have the right knowledge, you can now completely change your finances in the next few months. So I'm going to invite you to my upcoming Stock to Wealth Masterclass, where I'll be teaching you how to build your wealth, focusing on US stock 90%, and then the remaining percentage, we're going to split it into other assets, high interest savings account, mutual fund, Nigerian stocks, and then we're going to give most of our attention to the US stock market. And I'm going to share with you a list of quality stocks that will return 100% and above in the next few months. This is one of the best ways. This is why I say that the winning strategy works, because if you have a right strategy and you can leverage on this opportunity alone, you would have been able to grow your money beyond your wildest imagination. I'm also going to show you how to use dividends to cash out and blow. There are companies that pay you every month for doing absolutely nothing, just own their stocks. Just own their stocks. Another important thing I'm going to teach you is why money loses value over time and how you can beat it. Most people understand that money is losing value, but they do not know how to beat it. They don't know how to make sure that the money they have can purchase whatever thing they need, even when the purchasing power is dropping and the cost of goods and services are increasing. Now we have our dollar money community. We have the stock to wealth, which I just explained, the upcoming masterclass. It is just 10,000 naira. You learn stock basics, you learn everything about finance, from saving money to spending money to investing to multiply your money. And I'm going to show you how to earn monthly cash flow for just 10,000 naira. And then we have the VIP, where I call them my wealth builders community. Beyond understanding the right apps, the stocks, I'm going to give them a financial plan. I review their portfolios with them, and they get to see the stocks I buy on weekly basis, and they know when I buy and they know when I'm selling. One of the things that you need to understand in the stock market is not just buying any stock, but knowing when to buy a stock, knowing when to take your profits, and knowing when to sell that stock. You see, these three things is a game changer. That is how I've been able to come up with my rinse and repeat strategies. And for you to get into this VIP, it is 50,000 naira. It is something that you do not need to miss. You cannot afford to miss any of this at all at all. So I cannot wait to see you in the community. I also have this new book, The Money Body. This book is so dear to me because it is a simplified step-by-step way to grow and multiply your money. So in this, just using your smartphone, I've simplified this book so that if you do not have money to join the community, please buy the book. The seller link is going to be in the description of this particular video. So do well to grab that particular book. I do hope that you learned something interesting. That's putting your money in the bank. If you have any plan of what to do with your money, and you need, like, maybe you'll be having 6 months or 8 months, you want to save for your house rent or anything, the best place to put it is a high interest savings account. Where I will recommend is Optimus Optiflex. Okay, Optiflex, because it is flexible, meaning that you can put your money there and it can be yielding daily interest for you. And after 6 months, you want to pay for your house rent, it would have given you extra 20k, 30k, 50k, 75, depending on how much you're putting together. Now you haven't really lost. Your money has been working. So whatever extra expenses that will come out, that money can take care of it. Did you enjoy this video? Thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe. Of course, I'm your bestie, and on this channel, I bring you good content to make you money, to help you save money, and to help you to multiply your money. I will see you in the next video.